What's going on, my fellow Farmall brothers and sisters? All right, so we're going to go in, we're going to do a valve job on the Cub real fast, so that way we can get all the valves done and finished, so that way we can start getting this motor back together. So stay tuned, and we're going to get started. What's going on, my friends? Okay, so today I'm going to go ahead and lap all these valves. Again, I do the trick of put the double-sided tape on your lapping tool. It makes it so much easier to hold on to that valve when you're actually spinning these. Doesn't pop off all the time like the suction cup does. But anyway, I almost don't want to show you the table over here that the transmission's sitting on, but I'm going to have to. Let's just say pretty much everything has been laid out. There's the transmission right there. So all I got to do to that is go ahead and start replacing the seals in the front. Replace the seals on the side. I went ahead and start pulling this out. All I got to do is finish yanking it. Cleaned everything out inside here. Check the backlash. Everything's actually really good on it. Excuse me. Had a beef jerky. Apparently it's trying to kill me. Let me take a drink real quick. Okay. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I got so many projects going on right now. I got the Ram that I've been working on, the Cub that I've been working on, the trailer. I picked up all the parts to get that worked on so I can start doing that. And I picked up another engine for the Ram just in case I decide I want to build one with the different heads. I might change them over, put the Eagle style heads on it. I might change the pistons out, do a cam job in it, you know, rebuild the whole entire engine. But I got the motor for like $400 and it's running. So it's an MDS motor. It's actually out of a 2007 1500. 2500s didn't have the MDS. They were actually MDS delete. So obviously once I pull all this off and strip this thing down to the block, I'm going to go ahead and pull all the MDSs out and plug all the ports. When I buy a new cam, it's going to be the MDS delete cam. Because, yeah, I want my engine to stay running on all 8 cylinders from when I turn the key on to when I turn that key off. So anyway, enough of this for right now. We're not getting into this. But anyway, I had to go ahead and I stripped down the cracked engine. This is the one that actually had the ear that was broke off right here. It's missing this whole section here. So I went ahead and I got this all stripped down. I am going to pop up a video, actually right about now. Actually, not now. Of showing how easy it was to pull that balancer off. I actually picked up this puller right here from Amazon, and I'll tell you one thing, this hydraulic puller right here took all the issues out of pulling that balancer off of there. I went ahead and I ran the bolt in there, hooked the jaws to it, tightened everything up, gave it a few pumps, and all of a sudden it popped it right off and pulled it right off easy as can be. Now I'm going to drop the video in right now. Alright, so everybody who says it's super hard getting these pulleys off these Cub engines, I'll tell you one thing. Pick up one of these. There's the model number. Got it off Amazon. And I think it was like $100. But anyway, run your bolt in there. Hook it up. Crank it. Watch this. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Hold on. There we go. Look at that. I gotta say, this thing made it way easier getting that pulley off of there. Alright, what'd you think? That was actually pretty cool, wasn't it? That thing worked beautifully to pull that off there. No heat, no anything. So anyway, let's go ahead and set up. Let's go ahead and lap these valves real quick. I'm going to get these done. I already cleaned up the cylinders and everything in here. This engine here is actually going to go ahead and get the standard pop-ups because it's a standard bore in this motor. And we're going to finally get this engine back together. So that way we can finally get the transmission seals in and get that back together. Get the torque tube back in. I'm going to bring the final drives in. We're going to clean those up, reseal them, put the new brakes on, get those on. Once we get the final drives and the engine mounted back on, I'm going to shoot everything in primer. And then I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go ahead and paint it first coat, then start assembling, or if I'm just going to go ahead and prime the whole thing and then do like I usually do, paint it all at once. I may go that route. But anyway, it's not going to take long to get this one done, because as soon as I get this one done, I'm going to get it moved over so I can do the assembly as I bring in that 300 row crop, and I can start working on that in here. I'm trying to get as much done I can before it gets really, really cold. And at least being, excuse me, being in here, it's climate controlled. I got my heat and everything going in here, so I can do my painting in here, and I don't have to worry about, painting it outside and worry about the humidity is just, correct. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get to lapping these. Let me see, I don't think this is going to be high enough. There we go. All right, so I already have lapping compound on all these, and I went ahead and I oiled the stems. That makes it much easier as well. I'm going to run this one more time. Again, you only want to put a little bit on. I usually just do like 3 points or so. And then once you sit it on there, well, you can take your finger if you want to and just tap it around, just in case you're not sure of yourself. So go ahead and do that. I already got, like I said, oil on the stem. I'm going to make sure I have no lapping compound on the actual stem, because the last thing you want to do is have compound on here and start grinding away at those valve guides. So make sure that's clean. Like I said, I put oil on the stem just so that way when I put it in there, it's how easy it goes in. And then look how well that double-sided tape holds on. And then just do your thing. I was unsure about these valve seats in here because they weren't looking all that good when I first started cutting. But once I actually got my angles cut the way I wanted it, they actually turned out not too bad. So I think these valves will be just fine. You can hear the difference. You can hear the pitch. It'll change as the valve gets lapped to the cylinder, to the seat itself, and actually ends up cutting it and making it smooth all the way around, where you get that nice ring on your valve. The sound will change. But you see how I'm not fighting the suction cup coming off at all? The sound is sounding pretty good right there. I think I'm going to call that valve done, because that actually doesn't sound bad. So I'm going to clean this up, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Oh yeah, it looks nice. Even the cylinders and everything in this little motor actually came out really good. Surprising how well it actually came out. I was a little skeptical at first for the price and what I saw, but pleasantly surprised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the valve, and I'm going to check for the ring around the valve, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so what you want to look for is, see if I can focus this, see where it's shiny there, and see how it's got discoloration there, and then it's shiny there. That means my valve seat right now is being cut dead center of the valve. I got enough lip here. It's not too deep here. It's got a nice ring around that edge, well, the center. You can see it's nice all the way around, which means this valve will seal to that seat perfectly. And then I'll show you what it actually looks like. You can actually see how nice and smooth it is inside there now. There's no discolorations, there's no areas where it's shiny, and then, you know, where I've cut it with the valves, the compound, it's actually nice and smooth all the way around, and that's what you want to get a good seal. So that's pretty much what we're doing to these valves. So now it's just, what, 8 more? 7 more, 8 valves total, oh my god. I'm out of it. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get the next ones done now, and then I might do this one next to show you with me putting the tape on, and then I'm going to go ahead and just get these done. I'm not going to film this whole thing, just doing the same thing over again, but I'll show you the second valve of how I set this up. So now I'm going to go ahead and peel this double-sided tape off. See, clean that valve up. Now, once you cut these valves are going to be specific to that particular opening. So once you lap these, don't mess it up. Don't switch them up. Go ahead and just drop them back in like that, and that way you know nothing is going to happen to it. Now this piece of tape here obviously is going to be done for. Pop it off, and I'll show you what I use for the tape. Now there's a something that's a little bit of a pain sometimes with this. But anyway, so I use the Gorilla Tape. It's just clear Gorilla Super Tape, whatever they call it. Go ahead and stick it on like that. Push it down. All right, I usually get a couple pieces pre-cut and ready. Now, the only part that can be a pain sometimes is getting this backing off of here. I don't have fingernails, so I really can't get it off too well. So usually what I'll do is take one of my picks like that, get it started, peel the backing off. Try not to touch the backing now that you've done peeled it off. All right, clean off the top of that valve. Make sure all the compound and oil is off. Stick that right dead center. Give it a good push. Push that tape on there. And don't yank it up like I just did. Alright, let's see if we can get it to start spinning now. Alright, apparently I had oil in there still. Hang on a second, let me clean that oil off of there with some acetone. Okay, so it's all acetoned off, and now it sticks the way it should. Like I said, you got to make sure you get that oil and get that valve grinding compound off the top of those valves. Because I don't care what kind of double-sided tape you're going to put on there, it's not going to stick. And usually, the suction cup doesn't stick. And then that's it. Now you're going to go ahead and just wrap it. You're going to look for that ring. And listen for the sound. You know, it's a shame that I got the other engine running and everything actually sounded really good and it started right up and it was healthy, and just for that front ear being burnt off, unfortunately, I decided not to use it. Now, like I said, at a later date, I'm going to go ahead and probably clean that block up. And I'll probably go ahead and use the TIG welder, and I'll probably go ahead and TIG weld that back on, see what happens, see how strong I can make it. I might actually have to do like a stitch weld. Since it is like a, you know, a mounting point, and see if I can like strengthen it back up, because I hate to toss the block just because of that. And then maybe at the same time I'll grind out that braze that somebody did on the side of that block, and maybe I'll fix that as well. But that'll be a for a day when I actually don't have a project going on, which I'm not sure when that'll be. So I can hear the sound changing already. Alright, pull that puppy out of there. Wipe it all down, and let's check it out. So far the ring's looking really good. It's looking even all the way around. That's what I want to see. Let's see what the actual seat looks like. Well, that actually turned out really good compared to as bad as that thing was pitted inside there. Alright, nice. I'm actually very happy with that. Actually looking pretty good. Now, obviously I'm not too much worried about up inside this area. That's not really where it seals. So these pits right here, don't sweat. Just make sure you don't have pits in that actual seat, because that will cause your engine to backfire and miss. And let's just say you'll never get it. It'll run. You'll never get it running like 100%. You're going to hear the difference in the sound of the engine. But that actually doesn't look bad. The actual sealing points are good. Alright, starting to feel more and more better. That really doesn't sound like it makes sense. But anyway, yeah, so I'm feeling much better about this. So everything looks good. So what I'm going to do is, which I always like to do, since I now see everything is looking good, now I'm going to do one more little pass. I guess I am going to probably post after this video. It's going to be a short one, you know, quick, nothing special, but it's just going to be the video of me meeting up with the guy in Ireland and giving him the step that I made and took to Ireland with me. Like I said, I still think that was pretty cool that somebody in Ireland went up one of my steps, and now I have one over there on a tractor that I built. It was kind of cool. But yeah, after we sold him I gave him the step. We turned around, went into McDonoghue's pub that was right behind us, and I had me a pint of Guinness, and I had a whiskey. Can't remember what Irish whiskey it was that I had. It was actually really good. It was like a short batch, a small batch, run, but it was good. Let's just say I had a lot of Baileys with in my coffee there too. Now, one more thing I'm going to do to this block, just like I did to the other one, I'm going to chase all the threads out and retap everything, like the whole entire block, top to bottom. I'm going to rechase everything, so that way I know when I put it all back together, everything will be perfect. Same thing with all the manifold studs. I already got the die on there, so that way I can go ahead and chase those out. What was that? That was a 3/8 by 24. But yeah, I'll go ahead and chase all these out. Once everything's done, then I'll do a final cleaning of the engine, make sure all the metal shavings are out from doing the cylinders and all that. And then we're going to start assembling this thing. I got to polish the crank, put the crank back in it, and then get everything done. I went out a little while ago, fired up the Super A, since I haven't got a chance to fire that up for about a month. Started right up, purred like a kitten like usual. So I moved that out to the other shop because I needed this one for the climate controlled to do more work through the winter. I need a little bit more space, which I'm slowly running out of. And I didn't want anything to bump it, because I feel like I had too many close calls with things getting a little too close to it. Last thing I want to do is spin around with a piece of metal or something and hit the front and then mess up the paint job. So she's outside in the other shop, all covered up, tucked in, looking nice. Figure once I get this Cub done, pull them both out together and get a nice picture of them together. Alright, that looks good. So this is another one we're going to chalk up as done. Now, what I also like to do is, once I finish all the valve jobs on here, I have those real long, I still call them like Q-tips, I'm not sure, like big long swabs, almost like medical swabs. I'll spray this down with acetone or brake cleaner, and I'll take those swabs and I'll go inside all these valve guides and I'll make sure I get everything out of them, get them real nice and clean, and then I'll put some oil on another swab and I'll run through it the second time, which gets all the contaminants out, which makes sure all that valve grinding compound comes out of there. Because like I said, last thing you want to do is run your engine and have valve grinding compound inside there eating away at your seats. But as you see if I can show it. See the ring? Same thing. Looks really nice all the way around. And there's another one. Ready to go. No binds. Okay? Everything works nice and smooth. That'll be good. Well, now it's time to finish the rest of them. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to get all these other valves done, come back, and then I'll show how everything looks when it's all finished. Alright my friends, they are all done. So as you see, I just went ahead and numbered them because I am going to be taking them back out, but I don't want to mess up the orientation that these have all been lapped to. But yeah, everything turned out really good. Got a nice edge all around there, and they're nice and clean. So that is it for this video. Yes, I know it was short, sweet, simple, and to the point, but this video was only doing the valve job. So the next video coming up is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and clean everything up, clean out the cylinders, get everything out of here from honing them out. I did use a straight wall style hone, then I used the dingleberry hone to do the cross hatching afterwards, and all the cylinders actually came out really nice. So yeah, so the next video is going to be, maybe I'll go ahead and do it, video, just chasing all these out. Just, I know it's simple, but some people haven't done it. Just to show how to do it. I'm actually still very happy with how the inside of the water jackets and all came out. I actually filled this up with the vinegar and a little bit of salt and let it sit, and it actually ate up all the scale that was in there. Some of this flash rust is just from it sitting in here. but it got a lot of the stuff out of here. It actually cleaned that the water jackets out beautifully out of this motor. So if you have one that's heavily rusted and you want to clean these out, go ahead and do like I did. I made a plate, covered this up, filled the engine up, and let it sit for about, I don't know, I guess about 3-4 days. Just let it eat away at all the grime and all the junk inside of there. It actually came out really nice. So anyway, so the next video, yeah, we're going to go ahead and tap everything out and chase all the threads. And then we'll go ahead and do, we'll get the crank put back in, and I got to polish the journals on it. There's no scratches or digs or any marks on it, nothing to worry about. So I'm just going to polish them up with some, probably either 400 or 600 grit sandpaper. Just like I did on the 300, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and tape the sandpaper around the journal. You wrap your string around both sides and you just give it a pull, and it just polishes those journals perfectly. That doesn't look right. So anyway, so yes, we're going to go ahead and do that. Get the crank back in, get the idler back in, and get the cam in and all that good stuff. Put the lifters all in. Replace all the seals for the governor. Start getting this thing buttoned back up. I'm ready to get this Cub, at least for the most part, together. So I can actually just start finishing up assembly on it, just so I can get it wrapped up. Because I'm actually looking forward to rolling that 300 in here. I really want to kind of dig into that one, because that's the one I'm going to need to run the fast hitch, the 2-bottom plow and everything in the yard this coming spring. So I got to get that thing in here and get it done. Again, this turned into a full restoration. I wasn't planning on doing a restoration on the Cub, but somehow it turned into one. The 300, I'm not doing a full restoration. That's just going to be what I considered a refurbish, a repaint. Fix everything that's broken on it, which isn't really much. Strip it down and just repaint it and put it back together. That's not going to be a restoration on that one. So anyway, so that's it for the video. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Other than that, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.